In Boulder today, the 8th day of testimony in the King Soopers trial. Jurors seeing and hearing the shooter talk about his crime. This as prosecutors played clips from a videotaped interview of him by a psychologist. Now, the audio that came out of the courtroom wasn't clear enough for us to be able to share it with you, but Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates was in court listening, and he joins us now. Kevin, that interview was the first time the man talked about some of the details of the attack itself.
Tom, that's right, and he talked about things like the kind of sight he used on the gun and about his fear that the police would eventually kill him. And those details could be critically important when it's time for the jury to reach a verdict. The man who killed 10 people in March 2021 was interviewed multiple times by 2 forensic psychologists, but he seldom said much about the attack other than to blame it on voices in his head.
He couldn't justify the actions. He couldn't provide an ultimate motivation associated with them.
Dr. Loranda Torres was one of those doctors.
We would ask the question, and he would just say that there was nothing beyond the voices.
The shooter pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Today, prosecutors played clips of an interview with a 3rd doctor to try to make the case he was sane. That requires 2 things. One is showing that he knew right from wrong. Torres said a clip in which he said he feared police might shoot him was telling.
Of understanding the impact that holding a weapon and having done what he had just done in approaching police, what sort of behavior that might elicit from police officers.
Prosecutors also must prove he had a culpable mental state, that he acted with intent. In another clip, he said he used a gun sight that put a red dot on his target.
That, in terms of sanity, again, speaks to, I think, capacity to form culpable mental states in terms of organizing yourself well enough to carry out some sort of act.
Torres said the clips reiterated what she concluded, that he was sane.
There's nothing particularly delusional about them. There's nothing about voices associated with his actions, especially once the shooting begins. So it makes me feel like we didn't miss anything.
All of it led prosecutor Ken Kuffner to the ultimate question.
So as a board-certified forensic psychologist, your opinion in this case with respect to his sanity is what?
That he was sane at the time of the offense.
A little after 2 o'clock, the prosecution rested its case. The defense called his first witness, a psychiatrist who has treated the shooter at the state hospital. He testified, like others, that he has schizophrenia. The shooter's mother is on the witness stand now. She doesn't speak English. She's testifying through an interpreter. Live in Boulder, I'm Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Kevin, you talked about that audio of that interview done with the shooter being really poor quality audio coming out of the courtroom, but in the courtroom for jurors, for all to hear there. Clear enough for people to understand and make their own conclusions about that interview?
In the courtroom, it was easier to hear, but there were still parts of it that were difficult to make out, some one-word answers that were hard to hear. I think the most chilling thing was when he talked about getting on his phone and searching events in Boulder where there would be a lot of people and telling that other doctor that he was looking for a place to do the mass shooting.
All right, the case now shifting to the defense. Kevin, thanks as always for the update from Boulder.